All right.
Good. Pay my cash or credit card today.
Credit card.
Okay, if you let me look at your rental agreement, I'll see if I can give you a receipt right here.
All right. This is not only a Palmtop computer, it also has a kind of cellular phone and portable printer hooked up to it. It's used by these Hertz rental agents to check in cars, and it's essentially taken the place of the old desktop terminals that they used to use. Today, you can have the power of a computer in your Palmtop, from the full-fledged computers like the Atari Portfolio to the specialized units like the Sharp Wizard or the Casio Boss. Today, we'll take a look at the full range of Palmtop computers on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SPA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection, and by Byte Magazine and Bix.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Douglas Nichols, standing in for Stewart Cheifet, and with me this week is Tim Paharan. Tim, welcome.
Thank you.
Today we're looking at Palmtop computers. One of the first devices that you'll remember, if you were like me, you had one of these, an HP programmable calculator. 1K of memory, 49 different instructions you could give it. Now we've got the Atari Portfolio. You can run any MS-DOS program on this device, and other than the fact that it's got a small screen, it is an MS-DOS PC.
That's right.
The question I have for you today is, what's the point? Do we need to continue to miniaturize these devices, or might it be just as reasonable to spend more time on the RISC-based systems, or perhaps upgrading and making more powerful the laptop systems?
Well, actually, we're going to see both. We're going to see that the portables are going to become much more powerful. You'll probably see some RISC-based systems and more powerful 386s. But we're also going to see little devices like this that we call companion computers.
I like it.
These are devices that can go with us anywhere, and we can use them for editing, taking down information, databases, etc. And we can do it on the road, anywhere we happen to be, and then take it back and dump it right back to our personal computer. And as a result, both this low-end or smaller type machine is going to become very popular over the next few years, and we'll see both types of computers becoming a more important part of the way we work.
Today we're going to look at several new Palmtop computers. We'll see the Sharp Wizard, the Casio Boss, and we'll even look at more specialized Palmtops like the Electronic Bible. Hewlett-Packard was among the first to come up with the Palmtop, and it's still pioneering these devices like the HP line of business, financial, and scientific Palmtops. In fact, these HP devices have become so popular, there are even classes that teach people how to use them. Here's a report.
Notice I'm filling the buckets, and I'm filling them in any order.
The University of California Extension program in Berkeley offers a course that teaches students how to use Hewlett-Packard's latest financial calculators. The class is called Understanding the Time Value of Money, and students typically include lawyers and real estate investors.
Depositing $150 a month, say, in a bank at 10% interest for 3 years or 36 months. The question is, how much do we have in that bank after 36 months?
HP's newest models, the 17B and the 19B, operate in algebraic entry mode. Users are guided by a series of prompts to enter the data and solve for the unknown variable. The new calculators contain a unique feature called the solve function. It lets the investor create and store his own mathematical formula and customize the calculator for a particular business use.
We can give clients a lot better information, more quickly and more exact information, so they're benefited. And also, as a user and investor myself, I'm able to secure answers to questions that help me in negotiation, because I'm able to have the answers to certain problems where the other side of negotiation may not be as knowledgeable. So that's a negotiation strategy.
Both models 17 and 19 are priced at over $100, but if time is money, the calculators may be a shortcut route to making more. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.
There are two companies that have led the way in developing Palmtop computer technologies. Here to show us their products are Mike Weiner, CEO of Selectronics, and Peter Yanolos, president of Franklin Electronic Publishers. Tim.
Mike, these little devices have been on the market for a while now, and they're fascinating and have actually started to get a lot of response in the market. What do you think the impact of these are going to be?
It's a very significant impact. Just in the last year, these two companies represented here have done over $100 million worth of business and growing. We've just launched in Europe and in Japan. The impact is very significant because I think that these type of computers are going to touch more people in the years ahead than PCs and Macs have touched to date, and that's a lot. That's a large number. We're talking about these units in all representative companies, over 4 million units a year now, and growing very rapidly. So I think the impact will be dramatic.
Peter, I want to take a look at your spelling ace, but before we do, I want you to tell me what's going to guarantee that if I buy one of these for my brother-in-law, I don't go over there and find it in the bottom of his drawer along with all the other things I buy him.
Well, Douglas, you still might, but I don't think you will. This product, since its introduction in 1987, has sold over 3 million units and has basically marked the emergence of the electronic book. And fads generally don't last that long or involve really the kind of demographic spread we've seen here. It's used by a wide variety of people, and we have tremendous mail about the product.
All right. Now, how about the elementary school? Do you find any use in that in the schools? Are they using it?
Oh, absolutely. Franklin has a quite an aggressive educational support program, and we are becoming an integrated and important part of a number of classrooms in this country. This product, unlike most of our products, is aimed at a particular age range.
Okay, how's my little girl going to use that?
Well, if she's reading about kangaroos, I think it's a fair bet she may encounter the word marsupial, and might attempt to spell that word as I might, M-A-R-S-O-U-P-E-A-L. Not an unreasonable...
Basically just the way we might want to sound it out.
English is not a well-organized language in that sense, and it's hard for children to acquire it. The unit has corrected the spelling to M-A-R-S-U-P-I-A-L.
Okay.
And now, by hitting one key, the page key, she can learn that on page 303 of this Merriam-Webster dictionary, there's an article and there's information about marsupials and a definition.
Are they sold together?
Yes, they're sold together, and as a pair, they do several things at once. They help teach spelling, and they overcome the fear of using a dictionary.
What's the price on that particular pair, then, the book and
the suggested retail is $79.95 as a pair.
Okay, how about your spelling speaker, your speaking dictionary, please?
Well, the word dictionary is very important because it's a true dictionary. The word dictionary is used many different ways in electronics, but this dictionary has in it true definitions of what the words mean. If I enter a word such as potpourri, I can quickly read about that word.
Get definition.
And get definitions. I could explore an amazingly rich thesaurus and learn about it, learn about alternate words.
Right.
But I can hit this button labeled say and confirm that it is pronounced potpourri.
I heard that. Okay, how about you got one more, quickly.
Well, this is an important book because this is the world's first electronic Bible and marks the beginning of a new line, and I think a type of product you're going to see a lot more of. It has the whole text of the Old and New Testament in it, and the same technology will next year be used to publish the Columbia Encyclopedia from Franklin. If you enter the word meek into this product, you rapidly learn that there are exactly 7 books of the Bible that include the word meek. But it's likely you wouldn't want to go searching through all 7 of the books. So you could add the word inherit. And a fraction of a second later discover that there are only 2 places in the Bible, one in the Old Testament, Psalms, and the New Testament, Matthew, in which the word meek and inherit occur close together. If I, at this point, press one key, I can read from Psalm 37:11, which says, "But the meek shall inherit the earth." Moving to Matthew, I note that 5:5 says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Without the electronic medium, people could not view a book in this way.
Right. That's very impressive, Peter. I'd like to take a look at what you've got, Mike. I know you've got the word finder. And you might want to show that real quickly.
Yeah, this is a spelling checker thesaurus that adds definitions and a flashcard feature to quickly bring words up that you can guess the meaning of and then find out what they mean. As you can see, it's very small, fits in your pocket, and we've redesigned it and cost reduced it so it's on the market for just $79.95. The Berlitz Euro Traveler is a 10-language phrase book which lets you go to and from any of 10 languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Italian, Danish, Norwegian, Dutch, Swedish, and Portuguese.
Okay, I got to ask you, what, real briefly, because I don't want to get into it too heavily, what's the storage technology that you've got?
We've taken the equivalent of 45 phrase books that big and squeezed them on down to a single microchip using compression developed at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center that we have the exclusive license for, so that you can instantly get the phrase either by looking for the word or looking by the category. So if I type in taxi here, as you'll see...
something we all need. We always need a
well,
taxi.
yeah, you do need one when
Especially
you get to the
in France,
airport.
right?
That's right.
Yeah, so there is where can I get a taxi? If I hit the translate button, it comes up in French. Où puis-je trouver un taxi?
Now this is mostly European. How soon are we going to see Japanese?
In about 3 months.
Okay.
There'll be a unit out in Japanese. Next year we'll also have Korean, and we're already shipping a word finder in France in French.
Okay, now I know you've got the impossible in your pocket. It's
Yeah,
a
the
rumor.
impossible in my pocket.
It's an
is,
encyclopedia.
It's the Random House Encyclopedia, which we think is a product that can change the world because kids like it, because it has what I call the Nintendo effect. It really turns them on and makes them want to get in there and learn something. Now, if we wanted to find out who's the president of the Philippines, as an example, you can't look that up in an encyclopedia too easily. Here you can just type in Philippines and type in president.
And it goes right to the reference?
Hit enter, it takes a second, and up comes Corazon Aquino, who we discover was educated in the U.S. She grew up in a wealthy family, two things I didn't know, and when she married Mr. Aquino and he got assassinated, she then led the bloodless revolution. We can also access information hierarchically by looking up science and technology and seeing all the categories under science and technology. We can put in electronic bookmarks, put in our own notes, and most importantly, there's a cartridge slot to use this device to be able to get credit card size cartridges that'll contain all of the spelling checker thesaurus, the Berlitz translator, the Bible, etc.
That's impressive. Very good, Mike. Thank you, Peter. One of the fastest growing categories of Palmtop computers is the electronic organizer. But these devices can do more than just organize. Here's a report on the new Xeon XP computer.
The Delancey Street Foundation is a sprawling halfway house in San Francisco for recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. The foundation's brand new building uses a PC to control its heating and ventilating systems. But if the PC should fail, the foundation's engineer can turn to a Xeon XP handheld computer as emergency backup. By connecting the Xeon to a control panel in the boiler room, the engineer can have direct control over the entire complex without waiting for outside help.
Before, if my main terminal crashed and I had difficulties with the environmental control system in some way, I would have to call a company in San Jose who would in turn log on with a modem, which sometimes would take a couple hours when they fit it into their schedule. And it had me hung up for those periods. So now with the Xeon, I can use it and hook it up to my central system, log on, and make any necessary changes with the program or any other equipment.
The Xeon has 32K of RAM. It plugs into the serial port of the building's climate control unit with a modem. Using menu-driven commands, the engineer can adjust temperature readings, change pressure levels, or even turn water boilers on and off. The handheld also features built-in desktop accessories like a calculator and clock. The Xeon was one of many donations given to complete the Rehabilitation Center for Alcoholics and Drug Addicts. And like the goal of the foundation, the Xeon puts the user in control of any crisis.
The downtime is strictly in my hands. I have control of the downtime if I have the Xeon. Otherwise, I'm at somebody else's mercy, basically.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.
Palmtop computers cover a wide category of products, from organizers to Palmtop games. Joining us now are Bill Saddam. He's the editor of editor-in-chief of Portable Computing Magazine, and joining us also is Karen Johnson. She's the manager of one of the San Francisco stores of the Sharper Image. Tim.
Bill, earlier in the show I was talking about companion computing, the ability to take these little devices with us anywhere we go, in our coat pockets or whatever, and then be able to put in information and then download it back to our desktop PCs when we get back to our office. I noticed you've got a couple of these type of products here. Could you give us a little idea of how they work?
Yes, Tim. These devices take the place of a laptop computer for someone who doesn't want to carry something that bulky and only needs certain functions. For example, either one of these machines will give you calendar and scheduling functions, as well as the ability to record memos. And you can have business card information, telephone numbers, things of that nature stored. You also can find out what time it is, any city in the world that you'd like to select.
What kind of I/O do you get with that? I know you've got a keyboard, but I mean, can you up and download? We talked about that, but...
Yes, Doug. This Sharp OZ8200 will replace virtually any portable computer function. It can communicate with a printer, with a modem. It can act as a terminal to communicate with other computers or bulletin board systems.
It does it through a serial port?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It also has the option of connecting with a similar machine, with another Sharp.
How about the Boss?
The Boss has similar capabilities. This is a smaller machine. This is a 64 kilobyte machine versus the 128 kilobytes of the Wizard. However, you can expand the memory of the Boss by adding a 64K RAM card, which looks very similar to this ROM that I have in my hand.
Okay, and you can change the memory inside the Boss essentially with that card, correct?
Yes, you can. If you have the RAM card, you can treat it much like a floppy disk.
I can make it a word processor. I can...
Yes, you can store data. You can use it to back things up that are in your machine.
What have you got here?
Well, this is an electronic dictionary. This has over 95,000 words in it, and it will allow us to check usage, to check spelling, and hyphenation, as well as abbreviations, come to think of it.
And basically you just put it in one of these little slots, is that it?
Yes, I'll show you how that works. We have to turn the machine off.
Right.
And we unlock it, like so. Slide the card out. This is actually a placeholder that I have in here now. It protects the machine from dust. I'm going to have to pick it up.
Right.
There we go.
Just slide in the new card.
The new card slides right in, locks into place, like so.
I mean, you can do RAM as well. Same process.
Same process,
slot?
exactly.
Same
now,
slot?
when you turn it on, it comes up with a new set of functions. Now, let's try spelling. Well, let's skip spelling. We think we've done enough of that on this show. How about if we check an abbreviation?
There you go.
Let's take MD, for example, and see what we get here, as soon as I can find the letters. Not used to working upside down. And now we select the abbreviation function here, and we want to expand that abbreviation.
Right. And then it'll give us the full word.
It'll search and tell us what MD is an abbreviation for. Okay.
Now, I ask you, does it go in the same slot then? Would random access memory would go in the same slot?
In exactly the same way.
Okay.
The difference is that you would not see the same set of functions when you power the machine up. You would just be storing that as additional memory.
Okay. Let's turn to Karen for just a second. She's got a handful of items here that one might see in the Sharper Image catalog, correct?
Yeah, we have it in the Sharper Image catalog and in the stores. This is something new from Rolodex. Now, you know, Rolodex has always been on paper. Now they've gone electronic, and they put a little chip in here.
Did they have to make it round? I
think they had to stick with it, yeah. So people would think Rolodex.
That's
and
right.
This is the Electrodex, and it has 2K in it, so it'll remember all kinds of names, and you can put in, a couple letters if you remember something about letters. And again, upside down here, we...
But this is a little more sophisticated than the ones they've had in the past, because this one even can call out, is that right?
Yeah, now that you've got the name, you hit the auto dial, and it's got an auto dial function built right in, and you can have the thing dial it for you.
And when you do a little wind on that, it goes to the next name?
Yes, you can go next name like that. There's a Sharper Image. There we have Karen Johnson. Funny, they're at the same phone number, but that's where you can reach me, at the Sharper Image. But we have some stuff for travel, which is kind of fun. This looks like a little camera case here, and actually this is a talking translator that we have, and they can speak in male or female voices, and you can come up with, there it's working, so we can speak in a male voice and go to, let's spell out, say, money. So we've got M-O-N-E-Y. What would be helpful if you put it in correctly there, but in Great Britain, which would be English, it'll do English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish.
Right.
So we can get it to, let's see. There would be English, or you could get it in Spanish. Or, let's see, Italian. And you can go back to Great Britain, which would be English, and you can go through the help function, and it'll give you all kinds of different phrases that the word money appears in, and it'll say the whole sentence for you. So you can say that you want to exchange this money in Italian.
Posso cambiare questo denaro.
So that's pretty sharp, too.
Now, these are good little productivity type things for us in travel or on the home. Any games that we can play?
Actually, yeah, there are some games that you can take on your travels with you.
Something tells me.
Or even with the rain coming up, the golfers like this 18-hole golf course of some of the best golf courses around. Spyglass, Augusta's on here, and all you do is turn it on, and you've got a little golfer. You can choose your club and get up to the hole, and by holding the button down, actually it takes a little skill to bring this along and actually swack that ball right up the middle. Oh my gosh.
Duck hook, wasn't it?
How did I do that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
It's cheaper than buying a lot of water balls.
It could have been straight down the middle.
But it really does help you hone in on your golfing techniques, because you have to use the right club to hit the right distance, and that's something that you're thinking. So you're thinking golf, and when you get back out on the course, you can play better. And something else you can play with the computer is the bridge computer, and this is something normally it takes 4 people to play, but the computer has got the intelligence to put in the other 3 players for you. My favorite thing is, of course, that if I don't like the deal, I can just get another deal with more cards until I get enough points so that I end up winning with my partner.
I got a question for you. How does it make its decisions?
Well, you do have levels of play, and you do have 1 through 8 levels of play. It plays on the Blackwood-Stamen convention, so it is on bridge conventions that people are used to learning.
Okay, I've got a question. Now, it wasn't that long ago we had dedicated word processors, we had calculators, we had individual items that did specific things for us. And then when we came to the PCs, we had, all of a sudden, we had our calculations being done on a PC. We could do our own word processing, we could do spreadsheets, we could do this, that, and the other thing. Now, all of a sudden, everything's application specific. Is that the way we're going to be going here? Are we going to pretty soon have a little spreadsheet toy and that sort of thing, or what?
I think you're going to see that. I think in travel you see some of the specifics on games, as well as the processors here that keep information for you for whoever wants to use them for something, so they don't have to learn everything, just what they want to learn. It'll work just for them.
Give us some prices real quick, could you?
Let's see, we're only at $99 here on the Electrodex. The bridge game is at $129, the golf game's at $89, and this talking translator is $249.
And Bill?
$299.95 for the Boss, $399.95 for the Wizard.
Very good. Thank you very much, Bill and Karen. That's our look at Palmtop computers. Stay tuned for this week's computer news.
In the Random Access file this week, some new products are being announced for the new Macintoshes. Farallon Computing has introduced Disk Paper, a software program designed to simplify document distribution between networked Macs, regardless of the type of Mac on the network. Disk Paper creates multiple representations of any document and then sends the appropriate image needed by the receiving computer. Disk Paper is priced at $150. It will be released later this year. A new Canadian company called AView Technology has come up with an add-in board that will let PCs display television images. The board allows PCs equipped with multi-sync monitors to toggle back and forth between a full-screen video display and a full-screen computer display. The card only allows viewing of the video images. Since the signal is not digitized, it cannot be frame grabbed or displayed in a window. If you subscribe to the caller identification feature offered by your phone company, Rochelle Communications has a product for you. It's called Caller ID Plus, and it links your PC to your phone service using both hardware and software. The hardware identifies the telephone number of the person calling, while the RAM resident software program pops up a DBase 3-file record on the caller, including a call history file and a note editor. Caller ID Plus can also keep track of unanswered calls. Turning to this week's top 10 software titles on the Macintosh, Mac Connection reports that Berkeley Systems After Dark is number 1, followed by Symantec SAM. Number 3 is Adobe Type Manager 2.0, with Fulbright coming in 4th. In 5th place is Quicken for the Mac. Rounding out the top 10 are Microsoft Word, Pyro by 5th generation, Excel, Peter Norton's Mac Utilities, and Disk Doubler from Salient. Systems Compatibility Incorporated has created a pop-up data transfer utility called Outside In. The program provides direct data transfer from over 50 different file formats. You can scan your hard disk, import all or part of a file, and use it either in its original format or match it to a new file format. Time now for Paul Schindler in this week's Software Review.
In real life, there is usually more than one solution, but sometimes it's hard to see. That's where Flexigraphs comes in, a Macintosh graphics package for playing what-if games. You can directly manipulate graphics, then let the program produce the underlying numbers in spreadsheet format. This is a visual and interesting way of approaching a difficult business task. You can have standard, clunky Mac dialog boxes or graphical ones. You can lock a wedge. You can change the total size of the pie. If you don't like pies, you can change the color of patterns, or use line charts or bar charts. In case you think you may want to get back to where you started, you make a ghost marker of your original position, and when you're done, voila, there's a spreadsheet underneath. It's easily exportable to any other spreadsheet. You can draw free-form graphics, and the program will create a spreadsheet, which you can in turn manipulate. You want 21% more? You can get it. This is the ultimate tool for what-ifing. Flexigraphs is $150 from TreeStar Incorporated in Santa Barbara, California. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
For the millions of flight simulator enthusiasts, Microsoft has released a new scenery and aircraft design program. PC pilots can now fly over their own houses or towns using the Scenery Designer, and you can choose from an expanded fleet of aircraft using the Aircraft Designer, including the state-of-the-art Boeing 747-400. Finally, the Lima Datacom Security Corporation proved its point again this year. It offered a free round-the-world trip to any hacker who could break through its computer security system to retrieve a hidden message. More than 2,000 would-be hackers took the challenge, but no one succeeded. The secret message read, quote, "The persistent hunter who wins his prize sooner or later becomes the hunted." That's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. I'm Kate McGargy.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SBA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection, and by Byte Magazine and Bix. For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $4 to PTV Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio, 44240. Please indicate program date.